however, is to recommend a change to that policy in one regard, and that is to be able to have that the amount of delegated authority may exceed $500,000 if it is a change order or allocation of contingency. Did I say that right, Neil? Change order allowance. If it's been something that you have already authorized. This doesn't allow us to go above any level that you've authorized, but because of just the effects of inflation and the size of this project, it would allow us to be able to make change orders that would be in excess of the $500,000. That currently would come to you and only to you. Now, understand this has complete transparency. That is, it will still be fully reported within the delegated authority report, and at each time you authorize a contract, you authorize both the contract amount and within it the change order allowance. So it's not as if it can go beyond any of those things, but it is something that does give some additional flexibility. So with that, I would urge your approval, but obviously would hopefully be able to answer any questions as well.
Is there a motion?
Second. I'll second it.
Second.
Because I know there's
all right.
some questions.
We know that you, Mr. Witness, for sure. All right, so a motion and a second. Discussion.
Yeah, I know.
All right. I'll begin to my right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, one you.
No, I'm not comfortable with the resolution, Mr. Chairman. I don't know why any of you want to put yourselves in harm's way. I think the competitive bidding system is the best way to go, and I've been critical in the past on some of the contracts that come in here and then they want another $1 million or another $1.5 million because they bid too low to take the contract away from somebody. And I think you, by this resolution, you put yourselves in harm's way. Let it come here. I'm not comfortable with moving off the way we do public policy and public bidding and everything else. And if there's was a need for anything to rush through a project, this action should have came before the board much before this. Otherwise, let's follow the procedures that have been set up and that we worked with all up till now. So that's my comments for now.
Let me just be clear, if I can, that the method of contracting is a decision always made by you. If it is a low bid or if it is a design build project or if it's others. If it's anything other than low bid, you must explicitly approve the method of contracting and make findings according to it. A resolution later on in your packets does that, or it seeks that relative to the bridge. This is a fairly narrow issue. It is that if, in fact, there are typical change orders that are a part of any project, we expect that there will be some changes. It is only whether or not that currently, under all the past practices, have been that those change orders may be granted by the agency under your delegation up to $500,000. The change that's being proposed here is that amount, if already authorized by you for change order, would be in excess of $500,000. Now, you may still disagree with that, but I'm not trying to, that's your policy choice on it. But I want to make sure that we're talking about what is a relatively narrow issue in this regard.
Okay, Rick.
But maybe it'd be helpful if you could explain what benefit the change would, what benefit would accrue from the change in terms of either speeding the process or, making the project go smoother.
I just might note, and it also
Before we have Neil address this, do you want to hear the other questions? Or Bob, I know you're anxious to talk. Do you want to wait and follow Neil's discussion?
Oh, I'll wait.
All right. And Tiffany?
I just want to make sure that we're all have the concern about the same thing. We're talking about this delegated authority report. So right now it's 250.
Right. You take it.
And anything, well, that goes over that, so the amount at the top would be 500 now, and anything below that would still be shown on this sheet that we can have a discussion about.
Everything would be shown on the sheet.
Okay?
Everything would be shown. It just is that there are two types of contracting that's there. Neil, can you walk through the 550,000?
Sure. Before Neil, I guess I was Board Member Schweitzer brought it up. I was looking at something on the delegated authority, and you have the authority for $250,000, but yet you report to us on something that's $126,000 to show transparency. Am I correct?
The delegated authority report is supposed to say, yeah, everything we do under your authority to delegate, we list down to $1,000.
Right. And so, I mean, I was here when it used to be, I think it was 75,000 or 100,000, and then we moved it to 250. So I can understand it because we still get the paperwork. We continue to get all the information. We have to read it.
That was my question.
Yeah.
Very well said.
All right, Mr. McFarland.
I note, and it also
Before we have Neil address this, do you want to hear the other questions? Or Bob, I know you're anxious to talk. Do you want to wait and follow Neil's discussion?
Oh, I'll wait.
All right. And Tiffany?
I just want to make sure that we're all have the concern about the same thing. We're talking about this delegated authority report. So right now it's 250.
Right. You take it.
And anything, well, that goes over that, so the amount at the top would be 500 now, and anything below that would still be shown on this sheet that we can have a discussion about.
Everything would be shown on the sheet.
Okay?
Everything would be shown. It just is that there are two types of contracting that's there. Neil, can you walk through the 550,000?
Sure. Before Neil, I guess I was Board Member Schweitzer brought it up. I was looking at something on the delegated authority, and you have the authority for $250,000, but yet you report to us on something that's $126,000 to show transparency. Am I correct?
The delegated authority report is supposed to say, yeah, everything we do under your authority to delegate, we list down to $1,000.
Right. And so, I mean, I was here when it used to be, I think it was 75,000 or 100,000, and then we moved it to 250. So I can understand it because we still get the paperwork. We continue to get all the information. We have to read it.
That was my question.
Yeah.
Very well said.
All right,